Lost Art with Andrew Cox podcast, Marine Corps League and Till Valhalla Project Ambassador. Now streaming on all major podcast platforms. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast as giving a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art with Andrew Cox. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Podcast, that podcast giving a voice to our veterans. I'm your host, Andrew Cox, and today we're having a veteran story. I'm sorry, I'm all kinds of mixed up on this one. But before we get into the episode, are you enjoying the podcast? Make sure you go to our website. That's thelostart.podbean.com. Go check us out, see what we're all about. If there's any way you can help us in getting our veteran voices out for all to hear, it would be much appreciated. A big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project out there doing some amazing things. If you don't know anything about that organization, go to their website. That's tillvalhallaproject.com. And of course, for all you Marines out there, those FMF sailors out there, there's a place for you once you get out. It's called the Marine Corps League. That's right. Go and check them out. Join up. Just have a good time with them. You can go and check it out at mcleague.org. Are you a Marine veteran? Are you missing that bond you had on active duty? Then I have a place for you. Join the only congressionally chartered Marine Corps Veteran Service Organization, the Marine Corps League. Get that brother and sisterhood back in your life. Become one of the fewer, the prouder, a Marine Corps League member. All right, with that, I got my special guest here. I got Jason McNamara here. Jason, how you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed, my friend. Grateful to be
All
here.
right. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for you to be here. You've got some very interesting things that you're doing nowadays with the 9 to 5 club, and I want to get into that a little bit later. But I guess start at the beginning for us. Where did you grow up? What drew you into military service?
Sure. Well, I was actually born in the Caribbean, in the Virgin Islands, but I moved to South Florida when I was young. And my mom and dad split up. So I was in a single parent home in a lower income neighborhood. So throughout my early years, I saw people living a life I knew I didn't want to live when I got older, right? Saw a
Right.
bunch of things that people see in those lower income neighborhoods. So I had a strong drive to do better. It's really easy to get caught up keeping up with the Joneses, your friends, peer
Mm.
pressure, and all that stuff to make some bad decisions. I had plenty of people, I witnessed their bad decisions to realize that I didn't want to repeat that. So I applied. I went into the Air Force office, the Navy office, the Marines, the Army, all right next door to each other,
Yeah.
where I signed up. So I kind of went through shopping a little bit, seeing which branch I wanted to join. Navy sounded cool. I wanted to be a nuclear engineer. They were like,
Oh.
yeah, we'll just get you on the delayed entry program for that. And then by the time it was time for me to go, they were like, we couldn't get you nuke, but you're going to be an aviation technician. And I was
They
like,
got you.
yeah, they were like, maybe you can apply to be a nuke after boot camp. I was like, all right, we'll see. Um, so I went to Great Lakes, Illinois, 2007, got there in November. And,
Ooh.
a Florida boy from the Caribbean, right? So
Yeah.
I stayed until like
It's cold for people up north at that time, you know?
I stayed till I think March or April. So right when the ice started to fall, yeah, they were like, "All right, time to go to your next place." And by then, I had experienced them running out of salt and got my kicks and joys from sitting in the third story window watching everybody, at ease march and not saying slip and fall, but you saw plenty of people doing it. So
Oh, that's
definitely a learning
awesome.
curve.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about your experience in boot camp. Was it everything that you dreamed of?
I don't think I've ever dreamed of boot camp. So how do I say that?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I got off a bus after a long flight where I thought it was wise to have a few drinks. And then, it was in the evening. So then we had to go through all that processing, no sleep. And it was that thing where they're like, all right, everybody, y'all can rest, put your head on the table. And then 5 minutes later, they're like, get up. So, that nice day and a half of indoctrination of no sleep and nuts to butt, stand in line, march forward, look right. All right, close your eyes, sneeze left, whatever. I don't even remember what all we did, but Yeah, that was my first experience. So
And so you did that all with a couple of drinks in you. That was nice.
sweat it out, sweat it out.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't drink like that anymore. I learned my lessons. I was a little young, dumb, and confident. Maybe I still have a little bit of confidence, but I'm smart enough to know I have a whole lot more to learn.
There you go. I like it. Well, what were the big things that kind of stood out to you through recruit training?
Hmm. That one guy that would sneak peanut butter cups from the cafeteria and screw us all over, right? Learning about
Very
blanket
nice.
parties.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, so you learn a lot about teamwork, right? And you realize that if you're on a team and you're screwing up the whole team. A lot of valuable lessons in boot camp. One lesson in particular that helped me later on in life was financial literacy. And luckily, my mom taught me financial literacy, but I found it very unique that high school doesn't teach kids this, but in boot camp they don't want their sailors and Marines and soldiers to be broke and in debt.
Yeah.
They teach them financial literacy. They teach them how to take care of themselves because they're stronger when they're financially solid. So, you know, that's a takeaway that I think a lot of valuable lessons, but a lot more people need to learn not only time discipline, right? The discipline that we
Hmm.
get from boot camp, but the discipline that comes with the rest of their life, their finances, their choices. Do you need that new car to keep up with the
Yeah.
Joneses? But anyways,
Very
af-
true.
after boot camp, I went to I think it was A school or C school, one of those schools in Great
Yeah.
Lakes. And then during that session in school, they came into my class and they're like, "Hey, we need people to go to Cuba. We don't have enough prison guards in Guantanamo Bay, and we understand y'all are aviation technicians, but who wants to go to Gitmo? You get free space A flights to Puerto Rico. You get some extra pay. You don't have to be on a ship." And I was like, "Okay, sign me up. Let's go."
Very nice. Okay. Well, that was
So
more along the lines of the weather that you were used to.
yeah, I figured I'm back in the Caribbean. I
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the other options, like I could have went to Maine or Alaska or all types of places, and I was like, sign me up. I know what to do. I can deal with it. And growing up poor, I wasn't really afraid of the detainees or terrorists, whatever you want to call them, right?
Right.
And I think that helped me later on in my Gitmo career because I didn't have any kind of inkling of fear or anything about going down there and doing the job.
Very
So
nice. Now, did you get
we
training before you went down there?
I was just about to say we
Oh,
did
okay.
a stint in Gulfport, Mississippi. Then we went to Fort Lewis, Washington for training, and then we deployed. 5.0
Oh,
Delta.
okay.
Let's go.
Wow.
Yeah, so we got down there, and there's different camps. I don't think I'm going to say anything that's going to break any OPSEC, even though I don't even know if they exist in the same way anymore. But I pretty much worked a few different spots and a few different jobs, culminating to the end of my Gitmo career, where I was selected to assist with escorting movements, and then from there I got
Oh, nice.
ranked up another level where I was assisting the CIA with the interrogation. So I would go grab the detainee that was going to be interviewed, and we would essentially make sure they got to where they were needing to go, and everything went smooth. And then we brought them back after. I'd be the guy
Wow.
in the cameras.
That's pretty cool. So now you got to actually see the interviews and things like that, or you just had to wait outside.
No, no, no. We had cameras in the room. We
Yeah,
came in sometimes when there was issues and somebody got rowdy or emotional or
got you.
passionate, as I like to call it. So yeah, it was an active thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about the experience there. I mean, what were some of the things that you saw on a regular basis?
You'd be amazed at what a Subway sandwich can do for somebody's mood, right? But
Yeah,
seriously, it's funny because we were used to working like 12-hour shifts, right? Which were actually
right.
14-hour shifts, and then 6 days a week, which turned out to be 7 days a week sometimes. So when I got there, it was a lot less workload. And I realized that there was a lot of cushion for extra time. So while there, I looked at the math. I did the math between people we were moving and how long we were there. And I devised a schedule that gave us all more free time. So my
Oh,
last 2 months at the island, it was amazing. I didn't even feel like I was working. I was like, is it my day to go to work or is it just another fishing day?
nice. So you got plenty of fishing time toward the end.
Yeah, towards the end, in the
Yeah,
beginning, it
yeah.
was more like, 2, 3 times a month, your day off, you're strapping up, you're going to the beach, you're taking your pole, or, I'd love to free dive and spearfish. Like
Oh
the
wow.
the fishing in Cuba is amazing, right? And I haven't been to the other side of Cuba, but from what I hear, because of the way their government's ran, the locals aren't even allowed to go out there and fish to feed their own families. So it's
Really?
so abundant, and like the amount of nature and beauty, it's really magnificent down there.
Oh wow. Now what kind of fish were you catching usually?
Man, they had everything down there. Mako shark's the yummy one, right? We were
Oh yeah.
pulling up the spiny lobster tails. There's some conch and
Mm.
other things. So, of course, there's all types of other fish rolling around there. So you can catch snappers and jackfish and all types of stuff.
Oh my God. Man, you had it made. Oh,
Yeah,
those are all good eating fish too. Man, that's a good deal. And now how long were you down there?
a little over a year, a little over a year. So
Okay.
I did, throughout my time, I got 2 NAMs out of the deal, one for ramped
Oh
up
wow.
operations here in Ramadan, and the other one for assisting with the CIA interrogations. And I also was selected by the command to go to one of our friends' funerals. Something I really can't say much about, but
Yeah.
I had to stand there in uniform, couldn't really tell the family what all happened, and that was an
Wow.
experience as well.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure it was. That really leaves a lasting impression when you're dealing with the families and things like that. I mean, that's tough.
Absolutely. Rest in peace,
Yeah.
sharp and fear.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. So at that point, so you did a year there, and then where did you end up going after that?
Back to the States,
Okay.
more training, so to speak. And so I think it was A school and C school. And I remember being in the next set of schools, and I had more names than my instructor. So he would pick on me, right? As a second class
Oh
petty
wow.
officer, or third. And then all the other first class and chiefs would pick on him, saying, "You're really going to teach this guy who's got more brass than you?"
Oh, very nice.
So ended up graduating school, and when I got to the fleet, right, with my actual command, I ended up being attached to a training command. So I was never going to even deploy. And I was speaking to the master chief about my career options, and he wanted to know if I was going to make a career out of it. And this is at the time right in between Obama and Bush, right? Bush was leaving, Obama was
Okay.
coming in, and they were already starting to try to downsize the military under the Obama administration. They were
Hmm.
finally booting people out for being overweight, not passing their PT tests and stuff like that. So they were
Right.
looking to downsize already. And I was straight up Master Chief. I said, "Hey, all due respect, I want my honorable discharge and I want out. I want to go home. I want to do some fishing. I want to do some other stuff with my life." And he was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I feel like you've already served well enough. So if you want an honorable discharge and early release, I will
Oh
grant you that.
wow.
And you've got gee dunk duty until then. So as long as you make sure the stack machine's stocked up, you are good to go."
I love it. Wow. Now, how early did you get out? How much earlier?
I did right under 3 years.
Oh wow.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
So a
And
whole
then
lot of school.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Now where did you end up going after you got out?
Jacksonville and Pensacola were some of my other
Okay.
duty stations. So I was always able to stick around to Florida, to the warm weather, and never have to get
Yeah.
exported to Illinois again.
Don't blame you. It's cold up there, man. Holy cow. But it gets daggum hot and humid down there in Florida now. I don't know. I can't hang during the summertime down there.
Yeah, no, this is true, but this is why we all have air conditioners, my friend.
Good point. Yeah, good point. I like it. Well, tell me a little bit about what all you did, once you got out. Like, walk me down that path.
I leveraged the
Nice.
benefits that they gave me, that they set me up from home. I started talking to the VA. I actually ended up taking a paid internship while going back to school with the local Veterans Employment Representatives. It was part of the Department of Economic Opportunities, state of Florida's program.
Hmm.
And they were reaching out to me, trying to help me find work. I was like, "Hey, I'm a full-time student. This is what I have going on with the GI Bill, buying my first house." And they were like, "Well, you with your GI Bill, you can actually work with us tax-free as part of your benefit." And right at the time that I was finishing up my degree, they also offered me a full-time job. They were like, "Hey, you're your free money's going away. We've been getting free labor. We loved it. We'd like to offer you a permanent position.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it worked out. I became a disabled veteran outreach program specialist. So I did that
Hmm.
for a few years as well. And it was hugely intrinsically rewarding. We broke records. We had a campaign set out to get 100 heroes hired in 100 days, and we did 435. We made the newspapers. We rewrote the rule books for the state of Florida. They said, whatever y'all did, we want to teach everybody else how to do. So it worked
Yeah.
out very, very well. The team,
Wow.
yeah, it's what I needed too, because the team I was with taught me so much. We had an old senior chief from the Vietnam era who used to run minesweepers up and down the rivers over there, running the show. We had another chief petty officer who used to work on nukes, my buddy Jordan. He had the job that I wanted, but except he was like 6'4" and had to work me on submarines his whole career.
Oh, jeez.
Funny story how like all these submarine sailors are all like 6'6". It's a cool joke those recruiters play. But anyways,
Yeah,
um,
it is. I don't know how
so
they're able to move around or do anything in a submarine. It's just crazy.
right, and I realized that this entire time that I'm going through these movements of my life, I'm building up my own skill sets.
Mhm.
And what I used to teach the veterans that would come in, from service, and they're like, "Hey, I'm a grunt. I'm good at killing people. Where am I going to work?" Right? And I'm like, "Did you supervise other killers?" They're like, "Yeah." "Did you have to write reports?" "Yeah." What about PT? Did you work? So we find those transferable skills, right?
Right.
And then we put those on a resume. And then what we used to do for them, this is where I really sharpened my marketing skills, was we would find their ideal job, right? Because you're not
Uh-huh.
getting out of the military 20 years and going to work at Subway. I worked at Subway and Burger King before I joined the military. Not gonna lie,
Right.
nothing wrong with that. No more 9 to 5 club guy. Work 9 to 5s. Part of my story.
Yeah.
Um, but once you get that dream job, it's important to target your resume towards that dream job, not just make it and try to spell it out in a way where you're going to shotgun it over to a bunch of different employers, but speak to that one position that you actually want to get hired for. So that's where I started learning about targeted resumes, which helped me figure out how to communicate with more people in the future.
Yeah. Ah, that's really cool. And then and you spent 3 years, you said, at that job? How long were you there?
Right around 3 years too. Right
Okay.
around 3 years too. And then my next career was right around 7. So I always say though, after I do something, I do it to the best of my abilities, right? Every day I show
Absolutely.
I want to break records and I want to be the guy that doesn't have excuses for failure. I've been constantly looking for room for improvement. That's what I teach other people how to do too. And that's why I love working with veterans, right? Because we already have that ingrained in us.
True.
Fail forward, fail fast. All right. Don't get stuck when you're wrong. All right. Don't sit there in self-defense mode, lacking accountability, because that's how you get
Right.
your head chopped off.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. And then so after that, what did you start moving into?
All right. So a few years into this, the original team I had started moving on. One of them retired. Another one went and got a job in the private sector doing nuclear work. And I had a new team of people that just didn't have the same heart in the mission. So
Right.
I didn't have the same camaraderie within the internal team. And I realized I wanted to make more money. I started looking at some of the bellies around me, and I was like, "So this is what I get if I stay here for 30 years? No, I'm okay. 30,000 a year and a big belly and a heart attack. I'm okay." So I wanted to try something new, and I put in my 2 week notice, and I had a job lined up where I started off in sales, doing door to
Hmm.
door, right? High risk job. Like, am I going to suck? I'm commission only. But luckily, my confidence and ability to learn fast prevails again. Within 2 weeks,
Hmm.
I was not only knocking it out of the park, but they had promoted me to supervisor, and I was
Oh,
training other
wow.
people how to make sales. So fast forward, I switched companies after a few months. And then I switched to the nation's largest family owned pest control company called Massey Services. My picture's still on the wall at the corporate office. Because after
Hmm.
7 years, I retired as number one. 2017, I was the top third residential sales guy. 2018, I was number two.
Yeah.
2019, I was number one. When I went to the award ceremony in 2020, look at how much money I made down versus how much money I got paid. I asked them about transition to some kind of leadership role with the corporation. Like, hey, instead of me just being the number one sales guy, what if we leveled up the other hundreds of salespeople? And they liked the idea, but being a family owned company, they care a lot about attention to detail. Even the CEO's
Mm.
grandchildren have to wear all the hats in the company. So they said, "We love that, Jason. Now you got to be a service manager and then a general manager and then a regional manager."
Oh,
And
wow.
it's just like 6 months to a year in each position. And I was like, wait, service manager? It's like a 75% pay cut and like a 400% work increase. Can I keep the
Yeah.
same salary I'm getting now? Like, can we? They were like, no. I was like, oh no, I don't know if I could do this. So,
Wow.
but along the journey of getting all those bonus checks, even though I wasn't making the 7 figures they were getting. I was still getting some fat checks, and I was able to save,
Mhm.
earn, and invest my money. And I was buying multiple houses. I was reinvesting in my own betterment. So I had already built up several passive income streams. So that allowed me, probably like not right when COVID happened, but 6 months later,
Mhm.
say I'm not working anymore. I already had a pretty comfy position because being the top sales guy, negotiated special things like not having to go into the office every day. I would do my paperwork at my house and scan it all in. So I had a lot of freedom
Right.
and autonomy. It was a really, I made the job look easy. The other
Mhm.
number one guy who was number one for the last decade before me, it was like, man, I've been putting in 60-hour plus weeks trying to keep up with you. What'd you do? And I was like, I'm probably working 30, 35 hours a week. And a lot of people call my phone. So while I'm at my pool, I'm signing them up because I take care of my people and I ask for referrals. That's what we're taught to do. You're not doing that?
Wow. Well, hey, you obviously figured it out. I mean, too bad they didn't put you in the position where you could teach them all. No telling how much money the company would have made.
Well, I hope to go back to them one day. I left on good terms. I have a good place for them in my heart. The company does well. And they care about their people and their customers. And I had to go off and kind of build my own thing, right, or
Hmm.
several things, so that way hopefully when I do come back they don't offer me a service manager position, but maybe we can do something a little bit unique.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Now, is it after that that you got into the starting your organization, the 9 to 5 Club?
Yes, so for like a year or two there wasn't much, right? We started some nonprofits and I went back to school for my MBA. I was bored and I got my MBA from the University of Miami. We started several local nonprofits, which at the time really felt really good, right? To make a positive impact in your local community. But then as I
Hmm.
started finally for the first time in my life spending more time on social media, I noticed a whole lot of my friends that maybe some of them I knew, some of them I didn't know too well, but a lot of them needed answers. They had questions, they were looking for solutions, they were buying into programs, self-development. They were
Hmm.
looking for similar results to what I've had. And I was like, I think if I can listen to some of these people, I could talk to them. I can give them my best advice as a trusted advisor, as I learned how to be, and maybe
Hmm.
they can move the needle a little faster in their life. So I started testing this theory out. Then also people from my past started reaching out, and some of them would reach out looking for a hand up, right? They'd be looking for
Yeah,
advice, not like, hey, can you give me $20 until Friday? That's a handout.
right.
And I found out that I truly enjoyed giving people a hand up and also enjoying watching the consequences of them actually taking action versus the people that called me up asking me for favors or asking me for advice in my time and then staying stuck and not doing anything with it. It became a
Hmm.
little disturbing. Like, why are you on my phone with another problem? The last problem you had, I gave you advice and you didn't take my advice. Why do I
Yeah,
want to give you advice again if you're not going to take it? You're going to do your own
yeah.
thing and keep creating problems in your life. Get off my line.
Hmm. That makes sense. Yeah. That you gotta make sure that you're giving good advice, but they need to be taking that advice, or at least taking it into consideration, and every now and again taking it at a minimum, right?
Yeah. But somebody that complains about a problem and then doesn't intend on doing anything to fix it, well, we have a word for that. I'm not going to say what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, 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 it makes sense. Now, how, like, what did it develop into? Like, when you started the 9 to 5 versus where you are now, like, what was the overall scheme of maneuver? How did that work out?
All right. So there's got to be a few moving parts here. So
Okay,
I
yeah.
actually started talking to some local guys about investments. There was a time where I was learning how to trade stocks and crypto with signals and things like that. And I got with a local group of veterans and we started talking about creating a veteran crypto hedge fund. This is at the first big time that crypto was going up before it went back down
Yeah.
and went back up, right?
Hmm.
So that was kind of like the beginning of an entrepreneurial endeavor. And then I got introduced to another company called Marketing on Fire, where I really like the mission of giving everybody marketing tools for free and changing the world.
Right.
It's like this really falls in line with my vibes of feeling good and helping people break free and letting their money make money for them while they sleep. So I
Hmm.
invested in that company, and then from that company, we launched another company. That company was called Rocky Academy, and there's a whole nother long story there. I was an initial investor and trying to give guidance, and that company ended up making probably $500,000. I never saw
Wow.
any of that back because the guy we put in charge, um, I don't know if he went through a midlife crisis. I don't want to get in trouble for anything, but he did get arrested eventually for a felony for grand theft against the company. And I got a letter in the
Wow.
mail recently that says he's changing his plea from not guilty to guilty. So that's been a whole long journey. But about a month or two after we started Rock You Academy, right? We had this
Hmm.
partnership and I'm trying to give advice, and I'm realizing that I can't force my advice on this group, right? I don't have full creative control over this new business. So I started
Right.
brainstorming the business that I would want to build, which is the No More 9 to 5 Club. So
Hmm.
a little bit after that, I started building the No More 9 to 5 Club with the intention of teaching people the true path to financial freedom is to save, earn, and invest money. You lower your bills, you lower your expenses, you increase your investments until you have enough passive income coming in to cover your expenses. All right, that's how I did it. I
Right.
think that most people that retire do it. They get enough money
Hmm.
coming in, they lower their bills, and they're good. They have free time. So
Right.
that was the first premise of the No More 9 to 5. We had tools in there that actually, and we still do, help people lower their bills. They can
Hmm.
scrape back savings on things they're already buying. Help people start investing, like automatic savings and diversified stock portfolios, gold and silver, things like that. We took all the crypto and all the Forex out of the club because too many people get it confused and end up losing money. And I don't want to lead you all to something you're not ready for. I do
Yeah.
have experts. If somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to trade crypto with or without your help," good. Let me introduce you to my experts so you can at least hopefully get a better return on your investment, right?
Right. Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
yeah, so that was the first evolution of the No More Than 5 Club, and it was wildly popular. Before I knew anything about digital marketing, my social media blew up. People were literally selling me money. They were like, I was getting over like hundreds of people filled up in some of these companies in the downlines because people were signing up. They were like, "Yeah, Jason's right. Save, earn, and invest money." And this was
Yeah.
all done organically through just social media. I was like,
Hmm.
okay, we got fire. We're cooking with fire here. Let me go back and actually build the company now the way I want. So
Right.
that evolution has been happening over the last few years. And I've been telling people like it's not done yet, but it's still done enough to go, right? People are still
Yeah.
signing, they still see the value, but I'm not done. I've just begun this creative journey. And where I'm going to go after, I have some huge plans, but
Okay.
we're still in the beginning part of the story.
That's right. Well, what a if I am out there, I want to get involved with the company. Like, what is say, like I want help. How do I do that? What do I do?
All right, brother. So first of all, anybody can get involved with the company for free. I don't want people to feel like they have to pay me to get value. We have free courses. We have meetings that anybody can sign up to. But I always had a special place in my heart for our brothers and sisters in service. So all veterans get a free upgraded membership from free to basic, which includes the wealth, well-being, and wisdom courses that give them access to those tools. We also have another business under our umbrella. So we have a 501c3 called the No More 9 to 5 Foundation that supports giving the veterans stuff for free, plus resources we have for aspiring entrepreneurs and our paid interns. So we actually teach people how to be a better virtual assistant and help us help our clients. And then another one of the companies under our umbrella is called Mind Trainer Program. I partnered with Maury Zelkovich. He's a brain entrainment engineer, and he has just need a pair of headphones, over the ear headphones. And you put these on your head, and you're going to hear this is not binaural beats. This is really advanced technology. You're going to hear voices in your right brain, left brain, and center brain, along with what sounds to be like an MRI. But what it's actually doing is retraining your brain. And if you can keep those headphones on for 6 to 7 to 20 minutes, you're going to feel the results. It's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
Well, all the vets watching this know what it feels like to do push-ups to the point where you can't do anymore. This is not going to tap your brain out like that. This is more like what happens if you do a few push-ups and you drink an energy drink? Let's do more, right? You got that nitric
Yeah.
oxide pumping through your veins. You've taken the pre-workout. So anyways, Mind Trainer Pro, we have a system specifically for PTSD because we don't want to make medical claims. We might rename that like stress relief or something like that. But
Right.
essentially, there's over 24 different recordings that we give out to veterans completely for free. These systems used to sell for over $1,000. We've been strategically reducing the price. Maury's been doing this for decades. The Brazilian military has been using this tech for the last 20 years. There's all types of case studies, thousands of testimonials, and we're getting ready to take it to the mainstream market. So with the evolution of Mind Trainer Pro, we actually reduced the cost on these systems to $14.97 per month. So just like Amazon, Netflix, and Planet
Right.
Fitness, we want to be the go-to people in the brain space. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
understand the power of your thoughts and how they control the quality of your life, why are you not sharpening your mind?
Right.
So we want to make it easily accessible. Everything that we do, and especially when, a lot of times veterans, if they hear there's any kind of affiliate structure, they think it's less valuable. I can get into the whole thing about affiliates and marketing budgets, but like the club's built to also be a business in a box. So I could say, hey, I'm just going to keep all the value we made and keep 100% of it and drive traffic to the club and then serve the people that come here. But I wanted to make the club also a passive income stream for the club members. So we've divided the equally into thirds. We have a 2-tier 33% affiliate structure. What it means, sir, is if anybody here signs up and they say, came from Andrew's ecosystem, you guys sign up, we give all veterans discounts on the professional membership and all of their services, by the way.
Right.
But if anybody signed up, essentially a third of that revenue would go back to you to fund your podcast, to fund anything. Yeah. And it's on a reoccurring monthly basis. But there's a second tier. So let's say 20 dudes show up, or ladies, I don't want to be sexist here, but 20 people show up that are watching this right now and they sign up. And one of those 20 people bring 1,000 people. You get an additional 33% of that 1,000 people that they brought in. So that's the way a 2-tier 33% affiliate structure works. So it's not an MLM. An MLM technically with the government is 3 tiers or more. And I'm not about government paperwork. So I'm right under that threshold, right? Completely compliant, nice and simple. We just split the value equally with our community as a way of saying thank you for the people who edify us in public.
Right. Wow, that's really cool. Oh man. Now, there's a website, right, that people can go to. What's the website?
The No More 9to5club.org, the No More 9to5 Foundation.org, and mindtrainer-pro.com.
Got it. And I'll be sure and put that in the comments on whenever it goes up as well, so everybody can get to it. But man, that's a really cool deal that you got going on. Did we miss anything through there? Is there anything else you want to cover?
Oh, I can dive a little deeper on that because there is actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, I built this after I retired. I built it because I genuinely love seeing people win. And the membership, the professional membership, is stacked with value. We have a full business launch pad there where somebody can have a website, they can have courses, they can have affiliate structures, they have a calendar system. They have the ability to text and email people, conversational AI chatbots. We have cloud-based AI LinkedIn lead generation. So all that's for $97 a month for normal folks. For vets, it's $67 a month. For veterans and nonprofits, I should say. That's the 2 categories of people I like to serve for less money. And, like if you understand the value of your network, right? Imagine like you wanted to reach out to really high caliber veterans who own businesses. We can automate that outreach for you. So while you're sleeping, they're landing in your inbox saying, hell yeah, Andrew, send me a link. Can't wait to book, right? And that's the idea.
Yeah.
Who you need in your circle, let's automatically add them. And it's nothing cheesy. We're not in there saying, hey, do you need 10 or 15 more leads per month? We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Really organic, natural stuff, something that you would actually say to somebody that you want to connect with. We can automate that. And with the business launchpad, this thing has everything. Like you want to automate your content calendar for social media, you can schedule it from the tools and software that we have stacked for people in the professional membership. So the old way, a lot of people have all types of softwares, WordPress website, they have this integration, they have to pay for that. There's CRMs over here, and they have a giant Frankenstein ecosystem. And if you're going to build a digital business, it's really important to get organized and to not have a bunch of moving parts that don't work well together. So
Right.
we took all these moving parts and then put them together in a package that's equally valuable and shareable. So even if you don't share it, if you never intend on inviting a single soul into the No More 9 to 5 Club, there's still
Hmm.
tons of value here for you to discover, whether you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, or just a veteran that's trying to improve his or her life. We're here to serve you. We're here to meet you where you're at. And we want to make sure that you're winning, regardless of whether or not you ever put a dime in our bank account.
Wow. Now, let's just say, like, for an example, I've got my podcast here, I'm doing this, and I kind of have my own business with that. Is that something that I could come to you and say, hey, look, I want some help or whatever, and how do I do this? And then you guys would be able to help me through that?
Yeah, we definitely have. So on the team, so our higher ticket offers is basically marketing and tech implementation. So in
Hmm.
doing this, I didn't want to wear all the hats that it would take to run the No More 9 to 5 Club. All right. I like my hat
Makes
and I want
sense.
to be Jason McNamara. I don't want to be the web developer, the video editor, the
Yeah.
copywriter, customer service guy. I will wear any of those hats and direct and lead wherever I need to. But we have a team to support the people inside of the club. So essentially, we do project management. And everything I built here, I built in to keep in mind with how I would want to be treated, right? The
Hmm.
golden rule. The first time that I hired a VA, it was not a good experience. Overpaid through some agency who gave me a person who needed lots of training, and by the time I thought I was getting somewhere training them, they quit.
Mm.
So completely different ballpark here. You meet with our team who understands your operations and what your goals are, and then we disseminate it and we give it to the people who are skilled in those departments to come together and complete the project. So
Right.
yes, we can definitely help with all types of stuff, from podcasts to the thumbnails to the descriptions to the SEO. All
Yeah.
of these things are important.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I really like this whole thing that you got going on there, 9 to 5 Club, man. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I'm glad that I was pushed in your direction.
Who was it? William that introduced us, I think.
William,
Right?
yeah. It
Shout out
was,
to you,
yeah.
brother. William Tate. Let's go.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a pretty funny dude too. I met him at Lejeune, or yeah, Lejeune on the beach. Him and he was asked me to watch his son Andrew, and while he was swimming, he was PTing in the ocean. So I sat there and visited with his son while he was out there swimming and stuff. But yeah, he's a good guy.
Absolutely. Ex Special Forces. And now he's into one of my favorite things, philanthropy, right? What do
Oh
you do
yeah.
when you become successful, right? A lot of people don't think about that. When they're trapped living paycheck to paycheck, they're not living their best life. They're not thinking, they're
Hmm.
not embodying what it is to already be a debt-free millionaire with enough money coming in to where you can move how you want. You don't need to
Yeah.
worry about the light bill, the food on the table. If you want a steak or a lobster, you can afford it. What do? You buy a bunch of steaks and lobsters. Chances are, if you got a good heart, you're probably going to find some kind of passion project. Maybe it's
Right.
kids, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's who knows, maybe it's
Hmm.
saving sex trafficked youth. But generally, that's the people I like to serve, the people that have a higher vibration, connected closer to
Hmm.
God and their best self. And by the way, I don't discriminate. I don't care if it's God, Yahweh, Allah. It doesn't really matter to me. What matters is that the people in my circle are aligned with their highest version of themselves. That every day they
Mm.
wake up, they're open for room for improvement. They're looking to be of value to their community.
Yeah. Man, I like the way you put that. That's really good. Look at that, man. You're just selling yourself like it's cool. I mean, you're doing a heck of a job. Uh, but man, thanks for coming on and sharing all this. It's pretty awesome. Even your military career in the Navy, although short, you did what, just under 3 years, you said?
That's number three. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but it served you well because your work ethic and your values and things like that. I mean, it really has served you well throughout your entire career. So thanks for everything that you've been doing for the veteran community.
Thank you, brother. It's my pleasure. While I was in school and taking that first job, I served as the president of the Student Veterans Organization at my local
Hmm.
college. I also signed up to be the second vice commander of an American Legion, and I helped oversee the construction of a new building and the moving from the old building to the new building. So there's just so many things that I volunteered for where I
Hmm.
learned massively. I mean, think about that, a 20-something-year-old second vice commander. I'm hanging out with dudes that are already accomplished business owners that are first vice, other
Yeah.
positions in the committee in their 50s, 60s, 70s. And I'm just the youngest guy there, and they're trusting my judgment and my leadership. And I have a seat at
Right.
the table to soak up their knowledge. So I've always hung out with people that are older and smarter than me, people that have been places I haven't been. And
Right.
I didn't want to be like a kid in a candy shop yapping away. I'd be very content in the back of the room listening and learning until I had something of value to bring to the
Hmm.
table. So
Yeah, absolutely. People talk about you need to surround yourself with what it is that you want to be, right? So if you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people, and hopefully you'll learn from whatever they're doing, which is
that's
kind
it.
of what you got going on with the 9 to 5 club a little bit. You're surrounding yourself with successful people, help point you in the right direction, and yeah, it's good.
I love it, brother. I love it. So what other questions do you think the people want to know? What can I
Oh
cover for
man.
the audience?
That's a good question. I would say the biggest, well, at least for me, the biggest thing was how do I get involved in it, right? That's the biggest thing. But uh, maybe some of the successes that you've had that's come through, so people can kind of get an understanding of what people have, I guess, received from going through the program.
Sure. So a lot of different successes. One of the ones I like to lead with is the guy that came to me homeless, broke, living in a halfway house, didn't pay me any money,
Mm,
but started showing up to meetings. He started learning, started listening, and he started changing his thoughts and his behavior. And now he's got keys to an apartment. He's got a vehicle. He goes out and he makes money. He networks locally. He shaves every day. He takes better care of himself. He's seeing his kids again on a regular basis.
wow.
And to me, that's one of the biggest success stories. Somebody that was,
Absolutely.
at from quote unquote what he said at the bottom to
Hmm.
helping to walk him to where he wanted to go. There's guys that have came that were already doing six figures a month, and
Hmm.
they would want to delegate. That's not as impressive. Somebody that's already making $100,000 a month that hires us to free up a little bit more time. And there's also all types of stories from, I remember some business owners coming in that were just bleeding. They're spending money in all the wrong places. Things aren't giving them the returns they're looking for.
Hmm.
And instead of doing something vastly different, they're clinging on month after month, hoping that things improve. And I'm like, wait,
Hmm.
stop. Why are you spending money on that for another month if you know it's failed you the last three? So,
Right.
raising awareness, getting those aha moments. And then, like, I was just on a meeting with my buddy, Tim Miller, right? He's the
Hmm.
CEO of Puddles Be Gone. And he's a veteran. He worked at a Chrysler factory for 30 years. And one day he was cleaning his gutters at home and he fell off. And I think he broke his shoulder or his arm or something. I don't remember the bone. Then he started watching his dogs lapping up water out of the dog bowls, making a big, huge mess all over his floors. And guess what he did? He innovated. He developed and patented the world's first low gravity dog water bowl. And it's called Puddles Be Gone because now when your dogs drink out of the bowl, there's no big splashes and stuff. So he went, it's somebody that I mentored when it was an idea, when he had his
Yeah.
prototype. And he came to me with an idea. He got his patent. Then he got on Walmart.com and Amazon.com. And
Wow.
bought a semi truckloads full of this product. And he's been going out to different shows and setting up his product stands and selling the shows. And now there's ad spend campaigns that are coming out. So his website's built and automated, and now digitally, right?
Yeah.
Digitally, we're getting to the point where we can turn on a button and show this to people, and then they're clicking it and buying it and saying, "Oh yeah, I need that product." So it's
That's cool.
literally from ideation of a dream to
Hmm.
execution of a dream.
Yeah. Man, that's really cool. Uh, I, it's amazing. Why wouldn't everybody come and do this? I think everybody should do it.
I've been only doing this for 2.5 years,
Yeah.
and like I said, it's not done. Is there going to be room for improvement? Absolutely. Is there always going to be room for improvement? Absolutely. Right. That's how you look at
Yeah.
your bank. Um, but we're here to serve. So you asked how you can get involved. I would love for the No More 9 to 5 Foundation to be something that you routinely offer anybody. That, especially the Valhalla Project, any of those guys,
Hmm.
introductions, they can They don't even have to put my face or our name on it. They can leverage our solutions for anybody who needs it. You know, we're not in this for the fame or the publicity. We're in
Yeah.
this because it really matters. And we've, you know, just the veterans that I've already touched that were like, man, I was going through it. I was really lost. Like we have a whole veterans chat on WhatsApp in the No More 9 to 5 Club where they can
Mhm.
continue with the camaraderie. And if they're an entrepreneur, they can get assistance and support there. And if they're just looking for self-development and to get themselves out of the funk and, you know, quiet the demon in the head, we're here to help.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's awesome. Man, now you guys don't have like counselors as far as like mental health counselors or anything like that there, right?
So we actually do have plenty of like life coaches and things like that. And there are some
Okay.
people with PhDs and psychotherapists and things like that, but that's not something that we're actually offering. Like we offer regular coaching and training through our team of virtual assistants. Like one of my
Right.
VAs is from Venezuela. She's actually a doctor. She's a general surgeon transitioning to be a life coach because the pay in
Oh, wow.
Venezuela sucks. She's
Yeah.
highly skilled. So she loves getting on meetings with any of our club members and just soaking up everything they have to say and pouring back into them with her warm, healing heart. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I will say that we have people that can help, people that would be honored to help, but it's not something that we're doing at the moment. I don't want
Right.
anybody to get it twisted. I'm not competing with the VA. And of course, we do have a lot of other nonprofits and experts we can refer people to. So like
Right.
I know a guy out in Las Vegas, super cool dude, Recon Steve, shout out to him. And it's like old Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff from all over from the deserts in Dubai. And then veterans can come and fix them up. And when they're running, they can launch them around the racetrack, right? There's
Nice.
there's a dude in Florida here who's got a amazing ranch for any veterans who need equine therapy. So we
Hmm.
have an amazing network of not just veterans, but of people who want to support veterans too. So
Yeah.
regardless of where you're at, even if you're just coming down to Florida and you want like a free fishing veteran trip or something, if we can point you in the right direction and make it happen, thank you for your service. You deserve it. Don't say no.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, shoot, man. Unless there's anything else you want to cover or talk about, we can kind of. I got some full automatic rapid fire questions for you. But other than that, is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Real quick, where are we going with the No More 9 to 5 Club?
Yeah.
Um, I want to be able to help the masses. I don't see this as a small backdoor name with a name like this in Mind Trainer Pro. I want to really touch the masses. So anybody that needs our help or wants to help us, I'd invite you. If you see room for improvement, you don't have to keep it quiet. I appreciate anybody that pokes holes in my ship and closes our gaps to excellence. And other than that, long term, I want to start a ministry, the No More 9 to 5
Mm,
ministries, a true 508. If you understand the difference between 508 and 501c3, one has constitutional authority and the other doesn't. Well, I'm exploring a
okay.
lot of wild stuff. And, glory to God, like without him, none of this would have happened. So I'm
Yeah.
ready for any questions you have, my brother. And hopefully the people watching this come up with some questions of their own and drop them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my questions have to do with your service in the military. So it's just something I do with everybody at the end. So hopefully it'll be fun for you.
Okay.
All right. What is your proudest military moment?
Proudest military moment. All right. So one time I was, I guess the word would be attacked. Somebody mixed up a cocktail in Guantanamo Bay and flung it on me, right? It had a whole bunch of nasty shit in it. And
Hmm.
generally when that happens, you go to medical, you get checked out, you clean it all off, and you can take the rest of the day off. But I went back to my barracks, I showered, and I put a nice, clean pressed uniform, got my ass back to work within an hour. I get back on the block. To look him in the eyes, let him know you didn't phase me. Maybe that's why the CFP picked me. I didn't
That's
want the day
good.
on.
Very nice. All right. That's good. All right. What is your most embarrassing military moment?
All right, here's a good one. So, all right. So you remember in boot camp, right? You have your bags where you put your dirty clothes in to get washed, right?
Hmm.
You got your
Right.
white and your color. Okay. So, anyways, I'm getting back my bag, supposedly clean, and I'm looking at my underwear. I'm in doubt on whether or not this is clean. This is in boot camp, right? So we're going back to a boot camp story. I remember looking at it and I was like, And then I lifted it up to smell it. Like, it doesn't smell clean. It's supposed to be clean. From across the room, I forget. He was a first class petty officer, right? He was
Yeah.
one of the recruit guys. Starts fucking screaming at me. McNamara, why the fuck you sniffing your underwear, boy?
Ah.
So that was a little embarrassing to get up in front of the entire room and be like, I'm not sure if it's clean.
That's pretty good. I really like that one. That's a good story. Man, I like it. All right. If you could be one military leader for a day, who would that be?
Uh, Napoleon. I always wondered what it
Ooh,
would be like to be short and in charge.
that's good. That's good. All right. If you could change one rule in the military, what would it be?
Mm. One rule in the military. You know, that's a good one. I don't have an answer for that one just yet. One rule in the military. More surf and turf.
Ooh,
All right.
I would
Weekly
agree.
surf and turf.
I would agree with that. Yeah, especially they did well, I guess a study. I don't know what you would call it, but apparently for how many servicemen are paying for their chow or how much they pay for their chow, they're spending that money somewhere else or they're not putting it back into the chow halls. So if they would put all that money back into the chow halls where it's supposed to be, then they could do the surf and turf every week.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Let's make
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happen. Come on, Dogi.
I Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I might go eat there more often. Oh, well, I don't get to anymore, but I would have.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. What is one skill or lesson that you learned that you still use today?
Um, huge, huge accountability.
Mm,
Like, look at the horse in the mouth. Don't make excuses. And keep it short and simple and truthful.
yeah, that's a good one. All right. In the apocalypse, what would be your weapon of choice?
Can you describe the apocalypse a little bit more in detail?
I don't know. Think of any movie where there might even be zombies roaming around or something, or maybe an alien invasion or something.
Right. Because like, is this a Mad Max apocalypse? Is this a biblical apocalypse? Like, it really matters on what weapon I'm going to choose. Are there zombies? Are there vampires? I need to know.
Man, I don't have that answer for you right now. You know,
Okay.
so you have to find what is the most all around weapon that you could use.
So I'll probably get one of those Mad Max semi trucks that are loaded with weapons, and I want laser beams and rockets. I want a Bible in there. I want a cross and a vampire stake. I want it covered for everything. All right, I want a whole semi truck full of weapons.
That's good. Yeah, no one's ever said that one before. That was really good. I like it. All right. What animal best describes your time in service?
Lion?
Oh, okay. A lion. I like it.
Yeah, I even got a no shave chit, so I got to grow my beard, my mane.
You had a no shave chit while you ran?
No shit. Yes, I did.
No kidding. Now how much beard did you have?
So they still didn't let me grow this, right? I was
Yeah,
allowed to
yeah,
keep a
yeah.
few days worth of growth. Anything beyond like a half an inch, and they were like, "What are you doing, dude?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's not grow your beard day. You're not special ops."
Yeah. That's pretty good. All right. Now this is the first time I get to ask these questions to somebody that was not a Marine. So I'm excited to hear your answers on this. Which branch of the military has the sexiest uniforms?
Hmm. Well, I'm honestly going to go with the Marines.
Okay.
Yeah, we dress y'all up nice.
Yeah. Hey, we got to do something for us, right?
That's right.
And then, of course, I always ask this: what branch of service is the best?
Oh well, that's Navy, hands down. We all know that. So
Navy.
now
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go ahead and throw in the Department of the Navy, right? Because we all know the
Oh,
Marines fall under there too.
there you go. There you go. That was smooth, man. That was real
Mhm.
smooth. I like that. All right, last question. Knowing what you know now, would you do it all over again?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and if I knew what I knew now, it'd be so much smoother.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it would definitely be much easier in the second go round for sure. Well, here at the end, man, I always leave it for words of wisdom. So this is your chance to leave the listeners with something that you words of wisdom, or either just anything else that you want to talk about.
Sure, I just got a few here. Remember to smile. It's a good look on you. Um, Dream big and believe in yourself, because the only thing stopping you from success is your limiting beliefs that's stopping you from success. And remember to check the quality of your thoughts, because they will control the quality of your life. With that, I'm complete.
Wow, that was really good. Did you have those written down, ready to go?
No, no,
Or is
man,
that,
it's all up in here.
dang,
Power,
man.
power of the tongue.
Yeah, you're on it. I love it. Jason, man, thanks for coming on and doing this, sharing your story, talking about the 9 to 5 club. One last time, say the websites again for everybody that's out there so they can go check you out.
The no more 9to5club.org, the no more 9to5 foundation.org, and mindtrainer-pro.com.
Awesome. Well, there you go. Thanks again for coming on and doing this, man. You're a great veteran. You're a great man, and you're doing some great stuff with your company and serving a lot of people. So truly appreciate what you're doing.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show, and semper fi to everybody watching. Y'all keep smiling.
Semper Fi. That's right. Don't hang up on me. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. But for all the listeners out there, if you're struggling, you need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA does have some great resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on the chat icon. Any of those options will put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life lost is one too many. I care about you. I know Jason cares about you. The whole veteran community cares about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, reach out to the buddies you served with and ask them how they're doing. And if they need that helping hand, please give it to them. All right, Jason, one last time. Thanks, brother. Truly appreciate it. To all the listeners out there, stay motivated. Change your socks.